Hey, yo, it is that time of the season again. Time to talk about the Phoenix Force Fire Hair list, and nothing really has changed. I think since we last made a video on this. I think last time I was running those Zola instead of Misery, but I'm actually liking the Misery, I think, a lot more in this list than I originally had thought. And I think what it really opens up, allowing you to get better Animation Infusion, a better Fire Hair value, better just, Star-Lord Master of the Sun value too, allowing the ability to proc before it's destroyed, is something that I do really like a lot. Of course, with Zola, you can have more Star-Lord's Master of the Sun on the board. But I think in general, I don't know, the Misery just helps open up a lot of different lanes and avenues, I think, to get stuff going. It's about the same thing as doing the Zola. The Zola, of course, does give you two different bodies on the board, opposed to otherwise. Both do proc Fire Hair. Going off, you, of course, could get 3 Fire Hair procs if you do the Zola. Or not 3 Fire Hair procs, 3 Star-Lord Master of the Sun procs if you do Zola instead. But Misery for clearing board space. Honestly, using Misery onto Luna Snow is something that I've actually really gotten into using more so recently, to be able to have a lot of extra energy to be able to do things, mitigate my opponent's side of the board at the same time in some instances. Of course, it does give your opponent extra energy doing an additional Luna Snow. I mean, Luna Snow in general gives your opponent extra energy. But you also do have Wave in order to get Foom out. That's kind of the process with Wave. You're trying to get Foom onto the board earlier. Of course, your opponents are playing Foom and stuff too, because we're just in a Strife Foom kind of meta right now. And Stardust is still kind of relevant. You're still seeing some Stardust here and there, but it's still not in every single game, which is helpful and helps you with these decks. Kind of thing here too. But Star-Lord did not get hit in the OTA. How Star-Lord did not get hit in the OTA and Sholao both just survived, and Foom, none of those cards got hit. Maybe they're not a problem that we're all seeing. Maybe that's what's going on and why they're not getting hit there. But it's interesting that they haven't been adjusted in any ways over there. But it's kind of just like that standard shell. Of course, this time when we're doing the deck guide today, I'm actually going to be talking through each and every single one of my plays, because this is going to be a live commentary for you guys here. Of course, Elixir into Phoenix Force stuff also is something that is really neat with this deck. Reviving a card you destroyed that last turn, then destroying it, and then playing Elixir allows you to be able to get that card to be revived again, as long as, Elixir wasn't used prior to that turn, because Elixir can only happen once per turn. But let's say 2 cards were destroyed on the previous turn, Elixir can revive one, be destroyed, and then Fire Hair can revive another one. So that is something that can happen. But the same card cannot be revived on the same turn, because if you guys do, read Elixir as well, one of your cards destroyed last turn, it gets revived here. So if it already is revived originally by, Elixir, and then Elixir gets destroyed, and you have Fire Hair down, Fire Hair won't revive again the card that was revived, since there was only one time for Elixir to do that. So just kind of, keep that in mind while you're going through this. And if you guys do need any questions on what potential substitutions are, I can try and see what might fit in that scenario, but there's a world where you might have to run like a different style kind of Phoenix Force Fire Hair deck instead of what we have going on here. But this deck is a lot of fun, and yeah, we're going to jump right into some gameplay. Okay, so this is a very interesting game. So we have Fire Hair Wave, and we have Star-Lord here. Ideally, we would want to get something like a, whatchamacallit, a Kid Omega into maybe not necessarily Wave, but Kid Omega would be probably what we would want here. This is probably going to be just Fire Hair things. Marrow. Okay. Interesting. They're going to one drop. So we're facing some there. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to go Kid Omega. I'll go Kid Omega into Fire Hair here. This should be pretty decent. They do have a 1-drop, but they can't necessarily scale, I think, the way they potentially need to, which is what I like here. So I'll go Fire Hair, and then I'm going to go Star-Lord this next turn. They... Symbiote Spider-Man. Interesting. Interesting. I want to snap this back, and I think we might actually snap this back because we do have fastball. I think we are snapping this back. into this. So it goes off twice. So we have Phoenix Force and Fastball Special to hit the Symbiote Spider-Man. So I like that. They go Fallen one, which is fine. They're going to have a lot of energy, but we also are going to have a lot of power as well. And our thought process is probably going to be a Phoenix Force into Fastball Special. We do have Film, or I'm going to go, let me go Film, Fastball. Yeah, let's go Film, Fastball into Phoenix Force here. And they do have a lot of energy, and this is a lot of cubes on the line here. But I like this, actually. I like this a lot. Yeah. So I think I don't hate this actually at all. And then this is Star-Lord. They go Carnage. Okay. Into Animantimate Fusion. Into Fastball. Okay. Into Wolverine. Into Galactus. And that's not enough power, my friend. Yeah. The play was smart. I like what they were setting up, but we had Prio, and that won us the game there. Enough energy for them, but not enough. All right, into our next game over here. We do start with Luna Snow and Wave, and we have Venom. We do have Star-Lord as well, so this is a really just good start for us in general. I need something like a Fire Hair or like a Misery in order to like really get this going. But being able to float a couple turns, Squirrel Girl makes things a bit interesting. We do have Elixir. Okay. So this is just simply going to be Luna Snow into Star-Lord. Star-Lord's going to go to 10 power. We're going to get +2 energy. Wave gets hit. That's not the worst for us. We have Oscorp Tower. Okay, we do have Phoenix Force as well. So this is very interesting. So I go Luna into Star-Lord. And then we kind of just see what happens here. Oscorp Tower, they go Surge. And they go Yellow Jacket. That's fine. Our board space is a little rough here, but we do have Prio. Having Prio here is nice. I have Star-Lord into Fastball and Phoenix Force, which is cool. So I can set this up in a really neat way. They have extra energy, I have extra energy, but I do like what we got going on, because we'll probably go Fastball into Phoenix Force. It'll be like Fastball left, and we're going to have Prio, it looks like, still, which is great. They go Nico, change location with Merlin, which gives them Kiln. All right, so I can't get to that location. Understood. Well, I mean, I guess I still technically can. I can go... I go Phoenix... Or I go Fastball Special, Phoenix Force. And then I can move that to the right. And then I have Film as well. So this is a really solid situation here for us, which is why I'm snapping. They've also, if they are playing something like a Show Lao, by the way, even with like Show Lao, they've only played 2 cards on 1 turn. And we're already on turn 5. So this seems pretty decent for us. Of course, Once in Future is something that they totally can mess around with to kind of get some things going for them, which they do the Once in Future, but I get to go to the right, which is my thought process. They Strife, and Strife is Foom. Okay. So that's fine. I move this to the right. I go, hello, will you win the right lane? And then I can go... I can either film middle, I can film left. I can go... I go Venom, Foom. They have 9 energy. I think this is the best, just in case they have like a Negasonic or something. is kind of the thought process there. They probably either fool me left or fool me right. So I like what we're doing in this sense. This is just to play around like a Negasonic is the thought process here. Also, even if Venom goes down, there's the Foom. And Prowler. Which is not going to be enough power. It is just a Foom world. A Foom world, and we're all living in it. So yeah, we just had to play Star-Lord onto the right. Didn't really have to do anything else there. Pretty simple. We now get the homie Jace, which, by the way, we have the setup we want here. Kid Omega into Luna Snow, and kind of go crazy. It's okay that Lemura is happening here, because we don't have to have Kid Omega go off, like, immediately. So, like, we can kind of, you know, mess around there. So Kid Omega into Luna Snow, and it's just going to be like, where are we playing the Luna Snow and stuff? We do have Misery. Misery could be interesting. They have Jotunheim. We have Wave. I think I'm actually, in this sense, I'm going to Wave, because then I can Misery. Into Wave. They go Goose. Storm. It's a good play. That is a good play. I'm going to go, and I'm going to do Foom here. And then they go Nebula and Viv. Okay, which makes sense. It's a good play. I can go Phoenix Force middle and move that to the right. It's kind of the thought process there. This is just going to be a very interesting game for us, though. They Nightcrawler and Mercury. Okay. I move Foom over. Nebula goes up 2. Foom would win there. And then I can do this. I'm thinking we might get Cannonballed middle. So that's why I'm doing Animation Fusion kind of middle is my thought process there. But I think we see what happens here. We can see what happens. Yeah. Move Foom over. They Cannonball. And then I go Fire Hair and Animation Fusion. And we get Kid Omega back. Let's go. Let's go! We had the read. Had the read. Okay, this is where things get really interesting. So, Phoenix Force is cheaper and Luna Snow is cheaper. Quinjet. We don't have Star-Lord here. Savage Lands makes things a little interesting. We do have Misery. So, I could start Luna. We could start Luna into Star-Lord, but I think we're actually floating here. Actually, no, the earlier we can do Luna, the earlier we can set up plays. We're going to Luna here. Never mind. Collector. Okay, this is going to be interesting. We get Mysterio, which is not what we want, and they get Lasher. We do get Star-Lord, which is pretty solid for us. Okay. Probably end up going Star-Lord middle. Lasher on Mysterio is not really what we want here. They Vic. Frigga, yeah, this is gonna be a little gross. This is gonna be a little gross. We have Foom. Wow. Okay, we have a lot of crazy stuff we can do this game. We just go Star-Lord into Misery, Phoenix Force, or just a bunch of wild things are going to happen here. They go Bastion. So they are also going to have a lot of power. I'm going to go... If I go Kid Omega... If I go Kid Omega Misery... Yeah, that's the play. It's Kid Omega Misery. And then I need, like... Actually, no, we have actually a lot of cool plays we can do here. Because what we're going to try and set up is, of course, for Phoenix Force onto Kid Omega. They Prodigy on Vic. Okay, so that's going to be big. Ice Cube into Iron Patriot. That Ice Cube is going to get destroyed. Lasher hits Kid Omega. That's fine. We have a lot of energy. They do too, but the Ice Cube's gone. Wow, we actually get what we wanted. So I'm going to go Fire Hair into Kid Omega. Phoenix Force into Elixir or Animantium Infusion Elixir. There's a lot of stuff. Do I need that much power right is the other idea. I think it is... We destroy this. That should win left still, because we floated energy on 2. We floated energy on... Or we floated energy on 3. On 4 we played. On 5 we floated again. And with Misery it helps a lot. So I think I can play it out this way, and Firehair should go crazy. Firehair should give me at least 4. This isn't a created card. This should be good. This should be good. There's the Vic into Vic, but I don't think that is enough power. I don't think that is actually going to be enough power for them. As Star-Lord goes off, big Star-Lord. Yep, we win there. We probably, like in hindsight, didn't necessarily need that there. Into Elixir there. Yeah. Wow. I think, honestly, we probably could have played, like, Firehair middle and played Animation Infusion left. And that probably would have been, like, the safest kind of play. But we'll take that. Okay, we have Jotunheim here. We do have Wave. We do not have Film. And we do not have Star-Lord. So the starting bit here is interesting. We have Elixir and Fastball. We have some combo pieces. We just kind of need these big enablers now in order to really do things. Miniaturize Labs, not great. We do have Firehair, which Firehair is pretty good just to have. They have not played a single card yet. Not a single card. I'll go Luna. Luna and then see what happens. They Strife. And we do have Star-Lord. Okay. I'm going to go Star-Lord left. This is about to be Star-Lord on Star-Lord. It is Star-Lord on Star-Lord. Okay. So, they have 11 energy. I can go I can go Venom, Fastball. Into Animation Infusion Wave. I know this is weird. I know this is very weird, but I think it's this. We Venom. We fastball the Venom onto Star-Lord, which eats that, and I get another Ice Cube into Animated Fusion, which actually oh yeah, it goes behind, which is good. Or actually, no, Venom. We might actually just lose to Strife Foom here, actually. I think that's what happens. There's Foom. There's Absman, which hits nothing. And then Strife hits Zola. Oh. That works. That also works really, really well. Not exactly how I planned it at all, but we will take that. Okay, this is a really cool game with Bar Sinister if I can get Luna Snow into Phoenix Force, okay? With Phoenix Force kind of things here, we can do Venom onto Star-Lord and then revive and just get multiple here is kind of the thought process. So if I can get Prio into some of these scenarios, we really can do crazy, crazy things. We get Misery. We have Elixir. We have Star-Lord. I need ramp here. I really need some sort of ramp, but I think this is going to be potentially a rough game for us. Actually, no. We can go Venom left into Phoenix Force. Also can do some crazy, crazy things here. They debris. I go Venom. Venom. And then we're going to go Phoenix Force left. Go Phoenix Force left into Star-Lord. There's the Sugi. Big Venoms. Huge, huge Venoms. Yeah, they have to leave. They have to leave. Okay, we have Wave, Venom, and Animated Fusion, Phoenix Force. We just need some of our big cards here. If we can get some big cards here, we can kind of combo into some like pretty cool lines. But without those, we're kind of just not in the best spot whatsoever. So let's see. Grand Prix. We have Elixir. We do have Wave. Wave's a big card we can play into Grand Prix. They're floating. Genosha. I'm going to go... Let's just go Wave here. So big card for middle. They Venom left. Okay. I'm just going to play Foom. They Strife. I get the extra energy. I can do... We go Venom. Fire Hair into Venom. We get that set up. They Agony, Nico, Deathlock. Is this Zola? What is about to come down here on the left? It is Zola. That is good for them. So Null is going to be fairly big. They could play Null there. Is it just... I mean, how big do we want Null to be? We're 1 energy short of what I really want to do. This gives them a bigger null. This does give me... I do get wave back, though. I think we try and get wave back. They do have Zola again. We try and get wave. They death. No way. What is happening? Okay. I'm assuming they didn't have null or they wanted to do that play instead, but interesting. Okay. We have wave into Starlord. We also have fire hair. Okay. So this is going to be a wave and a Starlord angle. And then it's going to be a Venom Fire here. If I float turns 1 and 2, by the way, anyways, I don't have to play wave left. Not having to play wave left is also pretty solid for us. We will have 10... well, actually, no, we're playing wave left actually to have the 12 power. So we can have the extra energy. They go Merlin. I go wave Starlord left. Oh, I can't go wave Starlord left. I go wave... Starlord is just not going to be enough power there. But we are setting up some cool stuff. Chavez and Agony. Starlord left. This is either going to be, if it's this, not superior, if it's Scarlet Spider, that's a little rough. They Omniversal. Deathstone, wait, Deathstone main actually is not the worst for us. If we're being honest. That is not the worst. I can go Fire Hair, Phoenix Force. And I have a lot of energy here. They once in future. Okay. Into Omega Sentinel. We don't have Prio into this, which is also really solid for us. A lot of energy. I do think they might run Well, no, I don't think they run Stardust in this version. They could. And that would suck. It would be this. Or it is Animated Fusion. Boom. I lose to Stardust. Simple as that. Simple as that. I just lose to Stardust. And Omega Sentinel goes off twice here. If it's not Stardust and they're playing cards right, we're in a good spot because we don't have Prio. But this is a definitely very, very funky situation for us here. Very, very funky. Oh, that's big. Oh, that's pretty big. Oh my gosh. They Maverick into Polymorph into Phantom X. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of power. We get the Starlord, and then Foom wins right. Okay. That was crazy. Imagine if the Phantom X actually come down earlier and like they'd been able to discard stuff. That would have also been like a really interesting kind of situation. But Foom for the rescue! As always, the Foom does prevail. Okay, we have Firehair, Star-Lord, and Misery. Need of Valir is interesting, and we have Luna. Okay, so like this is a really good start to year. We just need some revive cards. Dream Dimensions is okay. We're pretty much floating until Luna. And it's going to be Luna, Star-Lord, Misery. Ant-Man. Okay. So I'm going to go Luna. And we get KO as well. Oh, this is freaking wild. Okay. Magic. Wow. With the setup we have, I'm snapping this. This is really, really good for us. Like, really, really good. Iron Man. Iron Man is really good for them, because so this could be something like a, what should we call it? This could be tribunal things. You get +2, and we have the Ice Cube. I go Firehair, Misery. Goes off again. We get it twice now. There you go, Mystique. Okay, so we do really need fastball here. We do really, really need Howard. Oh, these guys are based. So based. We get Foom. I'm doing this. Ooh, Phoenix Force does get a little tricky. So actually, I'm doing Phoenix Force Venom instead of Animatesman Fusion just because I don't want to get the Misery. But I think at the same time, we need big number. So I think we're going to play for a 50-50. I think we play for a 50-50, actually. Get the Star-Lord into Venom. Number goes big again. They Jubilee. Jubilee gives them Wave. Oh my gosh, that's crazy for us. And they get Ravona. Holy smokes, this is about to be ridiculous. We get Elixir too. Oh my. Okay, so we don't have fastball, which is kind of rough here. Okay, but they did not draw Tribunal. Thankfully, they did not draw Tribunal, it looks like. And they don't have a way to get to Tribunal. But that was a nice lineup we had. We needed probably fastball to go like really crazy, but not too bad. All right. We got Dr. Guapo. We get Weird World. We have Wave into Star-Lord, which I really don't hate. So we can do some funky things, and we have Sasquatch. Having their Sasquatch is actually pretty big. I just don't know what he has in mind. Okay, so we're gonna go Wave into Star-Lord. We have Firehair. Oh, this is wild. So film would be like one of the worst things to hit here. They go Nico Hawkeye. Okay. Go Wave. Let's see, what do I miss here? They go Chavez into Toxin. Sasquatch. I get Phoenix Force. I'm snapping into Star-Lord. Because we also will get the +1 max energy. Is kind of my thought process there. They Foom. I have Star-Lord. They don't have Beast. They don't have a way to bounce that back again. But I get the max energy here. I go Fire Hair. Misery. Because that also gives me some potential Sasquatch value. They snap me back. Okay. I know they have my Foom. The question is, what else do they have? They Chavez into Hawkeye and Strife. Wave goes off. We get another wave into Star-Lord. And then also Firehair gets the Star-Lord. Strife is Sholau. That's fine. Not afraid of a Sholau kind of thing here. They have to play kind of right here. You go Sasquatch. Kid Omega. Phoenix Force. And then Elixir right. But let's say they have like a Negasonic, right? They have 7 energy. They don't have the Squatch. They could just go Strike. They could go Sholau and just really double up there. Which would be probably what they do. Is they probably try and double up here. So this gets another, this gets like 12. So I kind of like don't win that lane. So we have to play around that. But I do think it's always this. There's the Sholau. They Joaquim Sholau. Okay, that's fair. Makes sense. Into Sable. Okay, I do Sasquatch. This just needs to be Star-Lord is what I needed it to be, and that gives me wave. Cool. So we won the 50-50 there. We won the 50-50. Which is why we stayed in there too, is because it was a 50-50. And we had big Sasquatch to play. It helped us a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys did stick around the very end, let me know it down below. Was Star-Lord, you know, not Strife, but Star-Lord, Sholau, and Foom deserving of a nerf again? I think probably some of those cards probably do. I do think they're just still everywhere, but I guess at the same time, they want to sell Season Pass. Strife hitting those cards, you know, really good feels good because those cards are good. But I'm interested to kind of see what your guys' thoughts are, if they deserve to be nerfed or they're just okay. The meta is in an okay spot right now. What are your guys' thoughts on Snap at the moment? But if you guys did enjoy the video, definitely feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys for all the love and support. I know videos have kind of been slowed down a little bit because we have a new baby, which new baby's absolutely amazing, in great health. Mama's in good health too, in case you guys were wondering about that. So the family's doing great. All the love and support's been incredible. But yeah, thank you guys once again so much for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Be on the lookout for the new buy or bust tomorrow as well. It's been real. God bless, and Tucker out.